Hi folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. Hang on just a second. Hi folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. We're in the middle of this winter snap, I guess. We had weather earlier in the week, and it's been below freezing here in central Virginia for all week. And today I checked as I came in today. It's 5:30 or so in the evening. I'm about to rebuild my fire, and I'm going to talk to you about fire and firewood management just for a moment as I clean out my firebox from ashes. And I'll give you a view of what I'm doing here. Now, as I said, it's about 5:30 in the evening. I'll put you back up here. And I left this morning at about, I don't know, just between 8 and 8:30. And here we are at 5:30, and you saw I've still got a bed of coals in my firebox. When you cut your wood, you got to make a choice about how long you want your wood and how you want it split. And this is an Ashley wood stove. Let me again make a little move you over here where you can see what's going on. That stove will handle wood that's about 23 inches in length, maybe 24, but it's a pretty long firebox. When I cut firewood, here is wood that is about 20 inches or so. There's some 22-inch wood there, but look down here at the bottom. I've got some wood that is in the 16-inch range, and that's where I cut most of my wood. I cut firewood at 16 inches to sell or to provide for needy causes. I actually hauled a load this weekend to a family that we were preparing for this winter storm, and they were low on wood, and man got up and was about 60 degrees in his house, and he was out of firewood, and he had medical issues that he was dealing with, and I just took him a load and gave it to him. One of the reasons I cut wood different lengths, number one, when I'm providing it for other people, you got to be considerate of what people can handle. One guy told me once, when you're splitting wood, split it like your grandma's going to handle it, and I do the same thing when I'm cutting wood. I found that there are so many different kinds of wood stoves that if I cut everybody wood that I could burn, I lose a lot of customers because a lot of them don't have a firebox as long as this one. But if you have a firebox that's this long, I still recommend that you cut 2 lengths of wood, and here's why. Now right now it's 28 degrees or so outside, and we're headed for about 12 degrees overnight. So I want, number one, a hot fire, and I want a fire that is going to hold coals. I don't want to get up all night long and refeed my fire. I go to work during the day. I want the fire to hold for the majority of the day. Oh, this looks good. I have to show you. So what I do is to cut 2 lengths of wood. When I need to heat our house on a day that's maybe 40 degrees outside, maybe 45, I want a lower fire that produces less heat. That's when I use shorter wood. Shorter wood that is not split as large. I find it allows me to manage my temperature much more easily. But when I need major amounts of heat and I need the fire to hold for a long time, that's when I use my long wood. So by cutting the 2 lengths of wood, I give myself options. My wife doesn't like when I overheat the house. I'm of the attitude, hey, is the house hot? Open a window. It's cool. Not a problem at all. But when I have a real demand for a lot of heat, the long wood gives me more fire inside the box, so I produce more heat. And I use the shorter wood when I need less heat and I don't want to overpower the house with too much heat. So those are your options that can make a real difference, and you kind of come out, it's almost an art form to keeping your fire managed in such a way that you either have enough heat or you don't have too much heat. Also, in more moderate weather, I use my softer woods. Here, a lot of people don't want to burn pine. There's nothing wrong with pine. It does produce creosote, but everything produces creosote. The problem people have with pine is that they generally don't let it dry out sufficiently. If you let it dry out, pine will give you a good, quick fire. It lights easily, but it won't hold fire for a long time. Oak is the best. It's best because it's the most plentiful and it holds the fire almost the longest. There's a couple other woods that rank higher, but they are so rare that they are irrelevant to me. What I'm using today is a mixture of oak and maple. Maple gives me a good hot fire. It holds a moderate amount of coals for me. I won't have a lot of coals overnight if I've slept for 8 hours, but I'll have enough that I can start the fire. The other thing I do, we have a lot of pine trees here, so I pick up pine cones, and the pine cones make a great kindling source. So I drop some of those in there, put my wood on top of it, light the pine cones, I'm done. So managing your fire can be determined, or how you manage your fire can be determined by the length at which you cut your firewood and the thickness that you split it. So I have some stuff that's a little bit thicker and a little bit longer, and I use those for my coldest nights because they'll hold the fire longest. I split my wood smaller and cut my wood a little bit shorter when I'm not as cold, and it works wonderfully. And I have found that my clients, when I sell wood, really appreciate that versatility. They like the smaller wood. As one guy, he called and said, hey, have you got any wood? And I brought him some, and he had been splitting his own wood by hand. He worked from, his wife stayed home with the kids, and he was in and out, so his wife had to manage the fire, and I had to pull around behind the house and around behind the barn to unload the wood, and he came out there, and he actually called his wife on the phone and said, honey, you're gonna love this. Always be mindful if you're cutting wood for other people about their ability to handle the wood. A little extra work will win you a lot of approval. Just little thoughts for your journey. I am the Bald Guy. It's a cold night. I hope you stay warm, and I'll see you on the next video.